Welcome back, everyone. We are still at the wall. I told you it's the wall, brother. Fucking Jesus Christ. Alright. Conversation 7. Hey, am I interrupting anything? Hey, Dave. No, Arceus and I were just exchanging some notes before I bring the meeting to order again. Okay, I just thought I would saunter over here. Things are getting pretty Lalonde heavy over there. It really is an awful lot of fucking Lalondes, isn't it? 2 was okay, or actually cool even, but this, yeah. Time to see what's going on over here. How's it going there, Broquius Sprite? Nearly finished radically downgrading Crocker here. I then plan on mourning the complete restoration of her woeful inferiority with a moment of silent, subtle flexing. Okay, that was some weird stuff to say, but cool. So you're some sort of freak, right? Yes. Okay, good to know. It's like talking to someone who is half my bro, but then not even really. The bro half is half AI or something, so maybe 1/4 bro. But then maybe even less because it's like alt-universe considerations and also part sprite. I'm notorious for being fucking sensational at mathematics, but I don't think I could break it down for you without lying about the precision of my figures, which is a practice I am by no means above, mind you. Yeah, the bottom line is I can tell you're just a really watered-down version. Or maybe sweated down? Why the fuck are you so sweaty? I'm not. I toweled off less than a minute ago. Oh god. So Dave, there's much we could talk about en route to waxing hard sentimental about our dubiously shared fraternal past. The fact that I shouldn't be mistaken for preoccupation with this delicate cyber task, which is trivial to me since my mind is a faultless silicon mesh of living algorithmic perfection. Neither should it be ascribed to the fact that my troll hemidentity finds the notion of reunion with you to be boring as a fiddling fruit. It is mainly that such a bonding experience strikes me as an endeavor falling outside of my totally ripped and kick-tookus purview. Brother times with real Dave would best be left to the custody of real Dirk, not to mention someone who gives at least greater than half a stupid shoot about you. Swoon. You know, I'm kind of glad you sound this insane and for the most part barely understandable. It makes it extra obvious you aren't my legit bro, which means I can actually talk to you while only being like vaguely confused and unsettled, instead of curling up into a ball and having some sort of social conniption. Speaking of which, when is he supposed to be here, by the way? Relax, Dave. He's scheduled to arrive around the same time as all the other bad guys. You still have time. I could have expedited his arrival, but I knew that meeting him was going to be a big deal for you, so I decided to let you have some space while we made some plans. See, I'm always thinking about what's good for you guys, and what's best for the overall strategy. Keeping everyone in high spirits is important. What do you mean, expedited? Never mind that, just chill out. Alright, so as long as I'm supposedly chilling and in no way wondering about my bro, are you sure there are no beverages in that fridge? No AJ, or it's a blind alley, brother dog. I already asked if she had milk in there once, plus another 9 redundant times after that. I also asked if she would like to touch my muscles. The answers were 10 no's and 1 yes. That reminds me, Dave. Would you like to touch my muscles? Maybe later. So you're sure there's nothing to drink in there? Yes, Dave. Don't know why I'm so insistent. Not like my fridge ever had anything comestible inside. Why the fuck did you even bring it? Don't worry about that. Oh, come on. But Gamzee's in there. Huh? Oh, right. Somehow I forgot we literally just established that you had Gamzee locked in there for some reason. You sure we shouldn't maybe let him out? Could suffocate in there. He'll just survive. God tier style, right? He's not a fucking god tier. He's faking it. He just made the fucking suit from scratch or something. I know he's complete trash, but maybe we should just let him out? What's the harm? It's not like he can cause any more trouble. We all way outnumber him and have way more powers and shit. No. Okay, well, no. We will never be hearing from him again. No. Never, never, never again. Never. Wow. So you're just gonna let him suffocate in there then? Dave, give me a little more credit than that. Gamzee is supposedly relevant to some other stuff that's going to happen in the new universe. He's still got some plot armor or some shit. So when Earth is resituated? Shouldn't that be resuscitated? I don't know. Resituated. I'm just gonna drop the fridge in the fucking ocean or something and let him find his own way out. Alright, that's fair. I mean, firm, but fair. Maybe not that fair, but I guess I don't care. So is John's hot mom awake yet? No. I mean, not hot mom, just mom. Damn, did anyone hear that? Yes. Shit. Let's reboot all trains of thought starting now. How much longer till his hot mom's awake? Mom, I mean not mine. His mom, not my hot mom. My mom, I mean, fucking hell. Not my mom. His. John's hot mom. Jesus! Sigh. The Strider Express is off the rails again, so I'm going to duck out of this conversation. See you, everybody. No, Brisket, don't go. At least do me the solid of letting me land squarely on some phrase that allows me to some plausible deniability over whether I think John's mom is super fucking hot. Shit. Wait. Pretend I didn't say that while still rendering its meaning in your mind somehow. Brisket's gone. I'm not even talking to anyone. Dave, forgive me if I am missing some nuance here, but it sounds to me as if you believe John's mother is physically attractive. Okay, now you're just twisting my words around. What would John think? Okay, that's an interesting thought, but hear me out. What if we ran an experiment and spent the rest of our lives finding out what happened if we never told him? I will consider your request for secrecy. Maybe. Frankly, I am not sure she is anything to write home about. What? What the fuck? Are you on the idiot drugs today? How could you possibly be serious about that? How is this unconscious teen grandmother not a completely smoking babe? I guess she is not my container of scalding leaf fluid. No, I don't believe you. You're obviously just trying to rile me up by going against the grain of flagrantly obvious babe facts. Is Dave saying inappropriate things about John's mother over there? No, I'm not saying anything. Just standard casual observations from a regular bystanding person. He keeps calling her hot. Wow. Wow, peddle lies much? I guess reprehensible dishonesty is all the rage with the troll kids these days. Wait, what's going on? Are we all talking about how hot Jane is? No. Maybe. Because Janie is a straight-up sexual fox riding a red-hot nuclear bombshell right down the Yowza Plaza in the heart of the Babe City. Massachusetts, USA. The last A stands for more ass. Jesus Christ. Thank you for defending the position I may or may not have been arguing for moments ago. No comment. Hey, are you guys talking about me? What's going on? Nope. LMAO. Dave thinks your mom is hot. What? God damn it, Terezi. We have finally reached the end of the wall. Hey, Mr. J. Carley, I presume? No, it's English, actually. 'Twas my grandma's surname. Oh, my mistake. So then, is it just a coincidence that she had the same name as the invincible supervillain? Are coincidences even real? I don't know. The history is a little murky to me. I heard she took the name from a nasty fellow to spite a wicked baroness. Okay, good to know. It's been interesting to learn how even though we are all pretty similar, we all have had a lot of really different life details. I guess so. Like, there are all these things I take for granted about Jake's childhood, which in theory is similar to yours. I'm sorry, Jade's childhood. Which is in theory similar to yours, but not really. She had a super powerful dog you didn't have, and also a grandpa you couldn't have had, because that was a grown-up version of you. I'd be really curious to hear about all the differences in your life sometime, if you don't mind. Sure. Hell, I'd be really curious to hear about the differences in my old life, so to speak, but Jane's asleep. I'm guessing she grew up in a similar situation I did, but with a bunch of differences? Guess I'll just have to wait. Well, she was a good friend. I know lots of stuff about her life. What do you want to know? Oh, let's see. So I was her grandpa, instead of her being my nana. I'm not sure if that statement made sense, but you know what I mean? Yeah, she had a pop-pop. He was a really funny and beloved old-time comedian, so I guess that's the cool guy you grew up to be. Cool! I never knew my nana growing up, except as an urn of ashes over the fireplace. I only met her as a sprite. Was I dead, or was he? Yep, but he wasn't ashes. They had a different way of preserving him, which I think was arguably more dignified. How? Have you seen Weekend at Bernie's? No, I've heard of it, though. Oh man, you have to see it! It's about a couple of knuckleheads who parade around with a funny corpse trying to pass him off as a living friend and Good Time Charlie over a series of escapades. Sounds pretty incredible. I still have it if you want to see it sometime. Definitely. Do you like movies? Do I? I love movies too. There are a whole bunch I'd want to show you, assuming you haven't seen them already. I love talking about them with people. I think my friends usually just humored me about the movies I like, but I have a feeling you'd really dig them. Oh, I guarantee you I would. Awesome. Can't wait to show you some. So that means Jane had an old man corpse version of me around somewhere, like in her house? Yes. Okay, that sounds pretty preposterous to me, but I guess she must have grown up thinking it was normal. Not really. She was always pretty put off by it, to be honest. Poor Jane. I'll have to apologize to her for freaking out from beyond the grave. What was her life like otherwise? Pretty typical, I'd say. She was always characterized it as boring, but I never agreed, really. She got to live on the mainland, with access to all kinds of things I didn't have. Plus, she lived with a cool and manly father who cared about her a lot, and seemed like a stand-up gent. Oh, she lived with her dad, too. Do you know anything about him? Not much other than what I just said and a few things she told me. I think he was stern and fatherly, and dressed well if memory serves. He was a private detective at some point. A private detective? Wow. It sounds like he must have been a completely different kind of dad from the one I had. All these differences are so interesting. Some are subtle, but some are drastic, like this one apparently is. It'd be neat to meet him. I mean, not that I would be much of a substitute for getting to see my dad again, since they're totally different people, but you know what I mean? Do you know what happened to him? I'm not sure. I kind of lost track of him for a while. I think he might be in jail? Jail? Yeah, Honduras. I think. I could be wrong, though. I'll take a mental note to check on him sometime soon. I bet Jane would want to, too, when she wakes up. I'll ask her about it. It's a good idea. You know, Jake, at first you seemed pretty shy, but you don't really seem that way at all now. You just strike me as a nice regular dude who likes movies and stuff. I'm glad we're getting a chance to talk. Yeah, me too. I've been feeling way out of sorts since I got sprung from the big house and dragged along to this here frog stage to suddenly bump gums with way too many people. But you're really good company, John, and you know how to make a guy feel at ease. Yeah, it's a lot of people. I'm having trouble keeping track of everyone myself. They all seem like decent folk and all, but I guess everyone catches me at the bad time. This wasn't how I pictured things going at all. How were you picturing it? Naively, I suppose. It's not that I was expecting differently of anyone else. More that I had spurious versions of my own conduct. Remember the letter I sent you? Yes. All the excitement and swagger you heard from me in those words? That's the man I thought I'd be when you met me. A man of action and gumption. Hell, when I wrote that, I thought by now maybe people would even have come to see me as a leader. What a laugh. I turned out to be such a disappointment to myself and everyone else. The bravado in that letter was fake, I've realized lately. I've realized a lot of things. That I could never be a leader or a people person or probably ever have a quality relationship with someone. So it's hard to get up a lot of moxie for a big moment like this, even though I'm as excited about it as everyone else. Tavros Sprite already tried cheering me up, and he's nice, but I don't think it really worked. Like by saying maybe all that stuff isn't true and maybe I'm actually really great in all the ways I don't think I am. It's a nice thought, but also it's weirdly just doesn't make me feel any better. John, you seem like the kind of guy who likes trying to cheer up a pal, so I guess so, you know, someone already tried telling me I was wrong and it didn't work. Well, I don't think you're wrong, though. Well, I don't know. We've just met. What could I know about you other than what you tell me? I believe you about all that. Really, it just sounds to me like you're going through a lot of changes, and changes are good, especially if you understand that's what's happening to you. I think that's how we grow and stuff. I think I've changed in a lot of ways. Some ways weren't that easy. Yeah? Sure. So you're realizing you like being by yourself. It sounds like a big deal. I like being alone a lot of the times too. It helps me think. If that's who you are, there's nothing wrong with that. Drade's grandpa liked being by himself too. So much so that he moved to an island as far away from civilization as possible. But he still did adventurous stuff and was super successful and also raised a cool granddaughter, who was actually his daughter, and I guess also yours. Yes, I guess you're right. And if nothing else, at least you've got a really cool costume. You really like it? Hell yes! Wow, thanks. Sometimes I worry that I might look a little silly and feel kind of exposed, maybe? Like I'm on sexy display and such and people don't see me as a person. I wouldn't worry about that. I love the god tier pajamas and yours are badass. You look like a superhero. Really? Yes, well, maybe a plucky sidekick at least. Sidekicks are really underrated anyway. I think in some cases they might be the real stars. Like, you know Batman? Truth be told, I think he might just be some kind of gallivanting idiot. He's got all the money and skills in the world, and what does he do? He buys a fancy car to drive around in, then jumps out and starts punching crooks with his bare hands. Then, when he gets hornswoggled by a wily clown with no powers and a lot less money, who has to bail him out? His sidekick, of course. Yeah, you're right. What is a Batman even trying to prove? Being all serious and cool looking? His sidekick looks like he has a lot more fun and smacks of confidence and self-assurance trotting around in his underpants. Batman probably doesn't even care that much about stopping crime. It's more about walloping thugs and getting to feel cool. If he really cared about stopping bad guys, he'd probably use his fancy money to buy guns and at least show the criminals he's packing to make them scared, not surrender outright. I bet his sidekick probably just has to wait for Batman to bungle things up with his stupid karate, and when he gets in trouble, the sidekick just guns down all the crooks from a safe distance like a sensible person. Well, I do love guns. Also fistcuffs. See? There you go. You're better than Batman already. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Hold on. Shh. Listen. Whisper, whisper, Mayor. Whisper, whisper, Cantown. Whisper, whisper, but where? Earth. To scale? Don't see how. If you're really going, build. He's talking to the mayor again. So it appears. They really appear to have quite a rapport. I just love how he talks to the mayor. It's like he made up his whole language of like minimal talking and hand gestures. It's so cute. Ahem, Egbert, what the fuck? Were you eavesdropping? No. This is a fucking private conversation. Stop being rude garbage. I wasn't eavesdropping. You just happened to be like right there, and you're really loud whisperer. Okay then. Here, have an excessively quiet. Shut the fuck up. Sorry. Go back to your cute mayor conference. We'll mind our own business. Achoo! Achoo! Oh man, what's going on now? Achoo! Meow! Achoo! Why? Achoo! Why does your Lucis need achoo to be here? Achoo! My allergies! Jaspers, what are you? Wait a minute. Rose, is that you? Meow. Oh my god, I turn my back for 2 seconds and something stupid happens. Achoo! The wall has been defeated. We may continue. Okay, everybody, time's up. Wrap up your conversations. Our technical meeting is officially back in order. Alright, is everyone shut up yet? I think so. Great. Let's not waste another second then. I'm diving right into this. Everyone pay close attention and try to keep up. I'll start by describing the exact nature of the threats we're dealing with and go from there. According to intelligence gathered during our trip along with some reconnaissance work on arrival, this session has 4, possibly 5 major adversaries. The Condés, of course, and 3 Jack Noirs of varying levels of danger. Plus there's a female Prospidian of equivalent power to the strongest Jack. She's sort of an X-factor. It's hard to accurately gauge her threat level, but I'm not about to take any chances. All these threats are just outside the Incipisphere, en route to our session as we speak. Once they arrive, all hell will break loose. That's when endgame is officially go. You only have a couple hours to prepare, so you need to listen to every word I say. Victory will depend on following my plans to the letter. So, where's the Condens right now? She's on Durst, preparing for the same critical convergence herself. After our little prison raid caught her completely off guard, costing her some hostages and key points of leverage, we've essentially reached a temporary ceasefire by default while both sides regroup. This is not how she expected things would go. We had the advantage of surprise that time, but we won't be so lucky now. She's waiting for the Jacks to get here, just like we are. Once they do, she'll instantly have the upper hand, and she knows this. Her particular combination of abilities along with her supervillain-like cunning makes her an extremely dangerous part of this equation. That's why we need good strategy in place before the shit hits the breeze blender. So, in addition for waiting for way too many Jacks to get here, we're also waiting for my bro too, right? So, who gets here at the same time? Or, yes, the other Strider was banished to the periphery as well, and is in transit. He'll arrive at the same time, give or take, and should be a great tactical asset. Sources tell me the dude's pretty good with a sword. That's me. I'm the source. I told her that. And it's true. Yes, thank you, Arqueus. This is starting to sound a bit complicated. How are we supposed to keep track of all these villains and heroes coming and going when and where? You're right, Kanaya. At this point in the meeting, I think we could use some diagrams to help with the battle plans. Karkat, if you wouldn't mind. I still have no idea why you put me on drawing duty. I'm easily the worst artist here, and I'm in a setting that includes Dave. Let's get real, that's no small feat. I specifically assigned you to the diagramming duty so that it would keep you occupied. That way, you'd stand a chance of keeping your mouth shut while I talk strategy. That's worked out great so far, hasn't it? We've lost how many strategy seconds to me complaining about drawing already? Sure, but I know that drawing requires a lot of concentration from you. Once you're in the zone, I expect you'll simmer down. Wow, fuck you. You're probably right, but fuck you nevertheless. Where the shit's my art pencil? I have some drawing to do. Alrighty then. Skaya, we are here. Strider, Jack, Prospit, Durst, Her Imperious Condescension, the Inciposphere, Dogs, Other Jack, Strider, Jack. Let's run down the threat list with a full debriefing on each threat. We'll start with the big fish here. Herself, the former Empress of our world, Her Imperious Condescension. The only reason we've been able to temporarily neutralize her stranglehold on this session is by taking two major pieces away from her, Harley and Crocker. Rest assured, she's already scheming to reassert her dominance, but if it weren't for my intervention here, I'd bet everything I had on the Sea Witch. She spent centuries upgrading her abilities, which now include both kinds of telekinesis. The simpler variety, more common to Rust Bloods, and the nasty kind, which sometimes yellow blooded mutants have involving all the fucking eye lasers and shit. If that weren't enough, she has a mix of telepathic abilities as well, like mine, plus the animal communion kind, more typical of brown bloods. Like me! Yes, Tafros, like you. This means she can hijack animals and trolls, assuming they aren't particularly resistant to influence, like me, obviously. Humans, I'm guessing, are still off limits to her influence, unless they've got some animal blood in them, which is what makes Jade such a dangerous element here. One of the mission-critical priorities is to make sure she stays asleep. If she ever wakes up and the Condense takes control over her again, that's probably game over for you guys. Jade's first Guardian abilities make her way too much to deal with on top of everything else. It's also possible that the Condense may have some sway over the Prospidian and one of Jack's because of their part-dog nature as well. It's hard to say what their level of resistance is, so I can't be sure. Strategically, it's best to err on the safe side, though, and presume this could be an issue. This is why taking on the Condense has to be a huge priority. Ideally, you should be trying to kill or disable her as quickly as possible. But if that's easier said than done, then what you need to do is keep her occupied. Throw everything you have at her. Whatever crazy powers you've got, just keep her busy. Distracted enough by a bunch of pesky kids so she won't have time to get clever with her powers. This is the best defense against the off chance she might be able to sway the dog, Jack, and Prospidian, and a failsafe in case Jade wakes up for whatever reason. When it comes to killing her, I don't have much advice. I don't have much to advise. There's no intel on her weaknesses or anything like that. In fact, I would bet that she doesn't have any. Like any powerful endgame boss, you just have to keep hammering away at her until she's dead. Enough said about that. This brings us to the Jacks. To differentiate, I'll give them nicknames. There's Dog Jack, Lord Jack, and Robo Jack. Let's talk about them in order to threat level. Karkat, I'm gonna need another shitty drawing, this time of Dog Jack and his Prospidian counterpart, please. Ah yes, I see you're intent on being a wiggler about this, as we've all come to expect. Whatever, I've been working within the confines of everyone's stupid limitations already, so I may as well work around yours as well. There, perfect. Dogjack is easily the most powerful adversary of the bunch in terms of pure physical capability. The Condense has the edge in guile and flexibility, and Lordjack has a ton of offensive powers as well. But there's nothing quite like the first Guardian abilities to give someone an overwhelming tactical advantage. The ability to teleport anywhere in the session, anytime, or anyone, anywhere, anytime, while having access to an inexhaustible power supply from the Green Sun, really makes it no contest, even against an otherwise awesome combatant. If it were just him you had to deal with, I wouldn't like your odds, honestly, but luckily for us, there's a major factor here which should be mostly neutralize him during this huge melee, which is the Prospidian. Power-wise, she's a precisely even match for him, and better yet, she apparently can't stand the guy. I still don't know what her real motives are, but you know what they say, enemy of my enemy and all that. So I say let her have at him. If the opportunity presents itself, help her defeat him. But I'll give you this bit of advice. If Jade ever wakes up, the Condense is sufficiently preoccupied, make sure Jade goes nowhere near the Condense, and sick her on Dogjack. She's the only one here whose abilities are on par with his, so that's where they're best applied. Got it? Good. Next, Lord Jack. Karkat? Kiss my shame globes. How does this look? Great, I think I can work with that. Ah yes, another true work of art has been made here today. Anyway, this ugly customer you see here, this is the Jack native to the session we're in now. Somehow he got possessed by, or like infused with, Lord English's crazy, ridiculously destructive magical energy. I have no idea why or how this works, how it's theoretically even possible, or why we should actually care. The fact of the matter is, it happened, and now we have to deal with this hideous rainbow-eyed monstrosity. Given what I have learned about Lord English's abilities, this will make his attacks quite lethal, and he'll be extremely difficult to kill. In fact, that fucking rainbow energy might just give him the highest constitution ranking of any adversary. Why did I say it like that? Any adversary, possibly making him the toughest one here to actually kill. The only reason he's not at dog tier threat level is because for all his powers, at least it's localized to wherever he happens to be. He's about as slow as any of us lowly non-omnipotents. He's not quite as relevant to keep occupied or even to defeat as the Condens herself, but he's still going to be huge trouble when he gets here. You're gonna need to stick some really good fighters here. My advice is also to seriously prepare for casualties during that fight. As the group's chief healer, Jane is going to need rapid access to the multiple fronts of this battle. More on that later. That brings me to Robo-Jack. He's the Jack originating from our session. Remember him, Carcat? We hatched a plan with him to take down the Black Queen. It seems like so long ago, doesn't it? Now, apparently he's got some cybernetic upgrades. Who the fuck knows how that happened, or for that matter, why or how he's on his way here now. My mind boggles trying to even picture the amount of stupid shit he's been through between now and when we knew him. Put this on the ever-lengthening list of garbage that doesn't matter and nobody cares about. The fact is, we have no idea what his affiliations are at this point, but like I'm always saying, best to just plan for the worst, and assume this is just another scrub we've got to kill. He's the lowest on the threat level, though his various enhancements and accessories pose more of a challenge than we bargained for. He's also traveling with a Juju known for its high storage capacity, and he's possibly packing company. Maybe a lot of company. I won't get into that now, though. You're going to need to reserve a squad for dealing with this guy and whoever he's brought along for the ride. It's a lesser priority, so I'd recommend an ensemble of third stringers. No offense to whoever those brave souls may be. Every lame wad has their place in an epic battle, and everyone's effort counts. Egbert looking kid, I'm looking at you. Possibly you too, Tavros. Maybe. That covers the overall tactical situation. Great job, Carcat. Really, just an all-around great job. I mean that. Thank you. Now listen. We've got to keep these battles spread out across the session, so you all don't start tripping on each other's toes, turning this into more of a clusterfuck than it already is. That means you need to station teams ready to intercept the Jacks wherever they're coming from. You also need to launch your lightning strike raid on the Condens before any of them get here. As for your party's healer, like I said, she'll need to be highly mobile, so what you'll need to do is lay out a network of key portals and transporters so she can make the rounds, and be in tight communication with her. One of your less relevant, more mobile folks should get on that now. See, scatter window portals like this around the various battle sites. Yo, did you loot my house or something? Please don't interrupt. Transportalizers will work as well, if you can get them all hooked up right. This is definitely busy work, but it's also really important, so we need someone competent in charge of this. I think I can handle that. Yeah? Yes, I'm quite mobile in this new form. Also, I think my abilities will help with forecasting the optimal network to lay out, along with helping Jane coordinate her routes during battle. Plus, I have to admit, I kind of relish the idea of being a less relevant party member, particularly since I think it's inherently true now. Okay, Rose Sprite? That's great. You can volunteer for that job if you want, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll be divvying up the roles momentarily, but cool, we have you down for that. Again, this is critical. The whole party will need to defend Crocker's life at all costs. She can't get sucked into any combat. If she dies, you could all be fucked. Be sure to fill her in on the logistics whenever Arqueus has finished deprogramming her. Everyone got it? Awesome. Since that pretty much covers the full tactical situation, we can now move on to the real strategizing. Now we can assign combat roles. Hey, Vriska, wait. Before you go on, I just wanted to say I'm really impressed with your strategic analysis so far. You really seem to be all over this. I wouldn't even know where to begin figuring all this stuff out. Anyway, I'm glad you're back and on our side. Oh, thanks, John. Just thought I'd say. I didn't want you to go through all this stuff for us thinking it was going unappreciated. Please continue. You got it. Now it's time to divide everyone into teams. Let's go down the list of foes again and assign party members for each battle. Once again, starting from the top. The Condens? We'll need a team to raid Durst again, but this time for all the marbles. And remember, the raid has to start before the rest of the action to keep her from getting the upper hand. And the party has to be at least good enough to, if not defeat her, keep her busy for a long time. Who wants a piece of the Sea Witch? Oh, shit. The Lalonde sisters. Me. Alright, I've got 2 takers from the Lalonde camp. We'll need more, though. Who else? I'll go. You sure, John? I think so. From what you said, it sounds like this is the most important battle. If we don't keep her busy, everything could get messed up. I think I'd be good at that. I can use all my windy powers for distractions and such. Okay, you're with the Lalons then, make it count. I may as well go too. It would be a shame if the party defeating the woman who terrorized our planet for ages had no representation from our own species. Shame or not, I'm afraid that won't work, Kanaya. Why not? You can't join their party, well, not yet at least. There's another critical role which you specifically need to complete first. We can't risk losing you in battle until it's complete. What is it? I'll explain later, after the teams are set. Okay, let's say Team Condense is good enough for now, with John, Roxy, and Rose. Next foe, Dogjack. Like I said, we're banking on the Prosperian keeping him busy, so he's not an immediate battle priority. We won't designate a team for him right now, but as I mentioned, in the event Jade wakes up for some reason, she should be reserved exclusively for this fight. That means someone needs to tell her, if not in person, then some other way. Perhaps leave a reminder for her, maybe tie it to her finger or something. Others can join the fight against him if need be, once their targets have been dealt with. Until then, better let the heavy hitters keep him in check. Next, Lord Jack. Who wants dibs on this guy? I guess that's me. Okay, Dave. There are all these rumors swirling around that I've got to beat Lord English anyway, which is probably bogus, but whatever. Killing this guy at least would be the next best thing, right? So maybe if I do that, I could, put the prophecy to rest. That logic sounds reasonable to me. For what it's worth, I never bought into the idea that you were supposed to be the one to kill English anyway. So that's one down. Who else? Okay, why not? You sure, Terezi? You're not immortal, remember? And this one's going to be tough. You said we need good fighters to go at this guy. And I think I'm pretty decent, at least at stabbing things, so I'll do this. Besides, someone has to witness Dave's heroism if he wants to be let off the hook for that prophecy. Hey, it's your decision. Anyone else? What about Dave's bro? I heard he's supposed to be hot shit. Yeah, sure. That's fine. If, you're comfortable volunteering someone who isn't here for a deadly battle, it's cool if you want to do that. Dave, come on. As if it's not extremely likely he'd seek you out upon getting here anyway. Why don't we just pencil him into the team as probably? Just be sure to debrief him on the whole situation when he gets here. Think you can handle that, Dave? Okay, great. Which reminds me, what about you, Arqueus? How do you fit into this? I haven't decided yet. I'm going to crunch some numbers in the vast combat matrix I just compiled now, in the micro blink of a nanosecond, to deduce the optimal strategic appropriation of my assets, i.e. muscles. Joining real Dave in battle is semi-tempting, but I don't wish to horn in on the real Dirk shit. Instead, I would prefer to blaze my own trail with my own hooves. I always wanted to do something really important and heroic. I mean, aside from all the other stuff I've already done, like that, which is quite a lot, but something quite grandiose and perfectly unmistakable as a gesture turning the tide of fortune for all of existence. This is what I've always desired. Well, that is to say, both halves of me once had such ambivalent desire, which was compromised by our respective internalized conflicts. But together, that desire is fully realized, no longer ambivalent. Nay, it is now fully bivalent, perhaps even univalent. I would like to gesture to shock everyone. I must come from out of the blue, making virtually no sense, stun all involved, and have a lasting, profoundly unintelligible impact on all futures and pseudo-future events. Does this answer your question? Oh, sorry, I was just temporarily mesmerized by your incredible spiel. Needless to say, I absolutely agree with your philosophy on heroic action and wanting to do something important. In any case, you've earned the right to do whatever the fuck you want, just by dint of being awesome. End of story. Okay, next. Will needs to designate a team for Robot Jack and his entourage. Alright, full disclosure, this is where things get kind of stupid. Even talking about this guy and his crew is probably a waste of good tactical analysis, but the fact is, he's going to be here and you're going to have to deal with his bullshit. I strongly recommend the dregs of your party get stuck with mop-up duty on this. Really, I'm kind of laughing already. Oh man, I really don't want to spoil too much fun for you guys, but I shouldn't. What? Okay, intelligence reports I've gathered, namely through a bit of time-hopping reconnaissance, suggest that RoboJack may, I repeat, may, be in transit with a bunch of green time-traveling idiots in that oven? Don't quote me on that. Anyway, if true, none of these bozos are particularly powerful. They'll mainly just be a nuisance. So who wants to deal with them? Hey, kid, yes, I'm talking to you again. God damn it, what was your name again? Joke? Vriska, stop. It's Jape and you know it. Listen, Joke, snap out of it. I'm talking to you. Oh, sorry. This is a strategy session, Joke. Please stay alert. Now, do you think you can handle being on this team? Awesome. That's the spirit. This assignment should be right up your alley, kid. Who else? Me. I'll do it. Thanks for volunteering, Tavros. This fight's pretty well suited to your skill set too. And if you can you can join Joke here to help him get ready. But there's one thing I really need to do before the battle starts. Oh, really? What? I'll explain it to you later in private, but it's critical and something only you can do. Oh. That makes me the funny feelings combination of skeptical, nervous, and excited. Good! That's exactly how you should be feeling about it. Trust me. Does anyone else want to step forward? Are you fucking with me now? Come again? Well, let's see if I'm tallying this up right. John and Lalonde 1 and 2 are on the Team Condens. The Strider Bros and Pyrup are on the Lord team. Jade went out on nap duties on Dog Team exclusively. The mayor isn't doing shit because I am personally seeing to it that not a single post-apocalyptic tatter on his head ever gets harmed. Crocker is on healing detail, and Lalonde 3 volunteered to support that. Kanaya has some vague yet to be explained mission to do, and so does Tavros. And Joke here just got shunted off to Pee Wee League. So who the fuck is even left aside from me? And the fucking cat, I guess. Are you sure we shouldn't pick a role for Rose's fucking cat looses before moving on to the absolute bottom of the barrel, sometimes referred to as the Vantis Zone? Oh, great point, Carcat. Hey there, kitty. Meow. What would you like to do? I would like to eat some tuna fish and cuddle with either Rose or Roxy or both. Aww. Okay, that can be your very important job. Don't let us down. Purr. Thank God we sorted that out. Now that we've established the kitty cat is heading up the fish-eating operation, I think we can safely proceed to the rung of strategic importance directly below that. The infamous, what is Carcat going to do rung? And since everyone else has a job and my skills are relatively unimpressive, I'll have to sign up for Team Dipshit too. Hell, even the kid in the banana hammock is a god tier at least. So I guess that means I'll be taking orders from him? Sure, why not? Second in command to the third-rate hero. Sounds about right to me. Carcat, yes, you're absolutely right that you basically suck, and that as a tactical resource you should be managed accordingly, but you aren't joining Joke's team, or doing any fighting for that matter. Like Kanaya, there's another more pressing matter reserved for you. In fact, it's the same as hers. What the fuck? When were you planning on telling me this? Carcat, I already alluded to this when you waltzed over, interrupted my conversation with Kanaya, and pretended you weren't flirting with me, remember? Oh, right, well what's this pressing matter? I'm getting to that. Very soon, in fact. I just need to get the team squared away first. Okay, well, are they? Looks like it. So that means Jake, I mean, really is a one-man team designated for RoboJack and all of his bozos? Apparently. You okay with that, kid? You can do it. Just believe in yourself or whatever the fuck. When in doubt, just remind yourself that battle isn't even particularly important. And help could be on the way once some of the other battles start coming to some sort of resolution. Just hang in there. Okay. Excellent. That concludes the tactical planning part of this debriefing. That's all perfectly logical, right? No questions or anything? Cool. Really, I shudder to think what you numbskulls would be doing if I weren't around, like John just implied with his nice remarks. He really did you all the biggest fucking favor in the history of time shenanigans by clobbering me in the face 3 years ago. You should all make him a gift basket when this is over to show your gratitude. No need to thank me, of course. I'm just doing my job here. Now, let's get over some really basic non-combat endgame shit. Then we'll be ready to break. Well, I'm gonna break early. Class dismissed.